Hello folks, Frank and Dave back again on YouTube. Okay guys, this is the second video for this Friday. The last one I done was the completion and the final reveal of my USS San Francisco. And now it's time to move on to this one. This one here is called Project Liberty Ship. This is going to be a finish-upper like I did on my San Francisco. I started on this one probably about a couple years ago and just kind of put it back in a box and let it stew for a while. I got involved with too many builds, so like I say, I got myself in the fine clutches of modeler syndrome. So now it's time for me to undo this modeler syndrome and finish up what's on the plate before I proceed to something else. Okay guys, this ship here doesn't need no introduction. It's a Liberty ship. The kit manufacturer of this kit is by Bluejacket ship crafters. They're the oldest model ship company in the world. They entered the media for us model builders since the turn of the century, and Horace Boucher was the founder of Bluejacket Models. His kits were known as Boucher and Lewis playthings. Now I was very fortunate, fellas, that I won a handsome load of kits from my father, and my dad, when he passed away, he gave me all of his Bluejacket kits. My father was a very good fan of Bluejacket ship crafters, and I inherited a lot of them from them that weren't even built. And these weren't Bluejacket ship crafter kits. These are Boucher and Lewis. Ship crafters, Bluejacket ship crafters didn't come to view until the late 1960s, is when the management of Bluejacket company came out and they changed the name to Bluejacket ship crafters. And they must have moved about 2 or 3 times. And they make fine quality kits. They're very expensive. They're more or less geared for the guy that's got this. And I'm very fortunate that my dad gave me these. And their kits are very, very detailed. The plain blueprints are arts themselves. And they give you good wealth of information. And it comes with a pre-carved whole kit. And the kit's pre-carved as far as they can take it. Where their hands leave off, yours take over. So there's hull stations and all kinds of hull lines on like that. You can make templates to make sure that hull is accurate. That's what I've done in a model right here. Okay guys, a little bit of history about the Liberty ship before we proceed to the view of the kit itself. Now the Liberty ship was no more than an English tramp steamer design. 1940, when England was involved with Nazi Germany, and they needed a lot of war contraband, and they had a lot of ocean liners that were like that, Lusitania, that were known as armored cruisers, and we had the same. And during the transatlantic seaway, back and forth from the old world to the new world, back and forth, it's like a freeway, fellas, constant, same routes, everything. And a lot of them were sunk by U-boats. So Nazi Germany, they were sinking more tonnage than what they came across for England, and they needed some answers and some solutions. And they knew that the United States of America was a very industrious nation. And back then, before World War II came around the corner, we were living in a depression. There's no economy back in those days. Things were starting to pick up a little bit here and there, and so President Roosevelt knew that the war was imminent for the United States of America. He knew we'll be in tags with Germany pretty soon, and he knew we'll be in trouble with Japan, because he knew that the problems that Japan had, taking all the islands, taking control of the South Pacific, and like a lynching mob going right through into China and slaughtering women and children for no reason at all, just to get their war goods, such as tin, aluminum, copper, rubber, oil, everything to build up their industry. And we didn't like what they did, so we put an embargo against them. That's another story right there, but the story of the Liberty ship came to view is that Mr. Churchill, Sir Winston Churchill, and President Delano Roosevelt were very good chums, very good friends. And they respected one another, and President Roosevelt wanted to help him as much as he could. A lot of things he couldn't do is because of political reasons. So he did what he could. It's called the Lend-Lease program. And what he could do is arm some of our ships, take them back and forth to help them help them survive by bringing them war contraband and food and goods to England. And Germany, they were sinking our tonnage quicker than we could send over there. And Sir Winston Churchill needed some answers, so the best answer was to do is for America to have some kind of emergency fleet corporation like they did with the Ferris cargo ships in World War I. And they needed some emergency shipping as fast as they could, what they can do. And that's when the Liberty ship came involved. Now Henry Kaiser was industrious, a very shrewd and brash businessman. And he came up with plans with the Maritime Commission, and also he submitted them to Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It says, here's a design for this ship here. We can build this ship in a month. And I said, well, how many shipyards do you think would be available to build these things? He said, we got 5 right now. And so the first one was the Patrick Henry, the SS Patrick Henry, which is the one I'm modeling right here. And it was 1 month it took to build that one. And that was pretty fast, fellas, real fast. He said we could build them faster. So Henry Kaiser devised an assembly line process. He broke down the ship into sub-assemblies. Like that, as us modelers, how we build a model. Everything's done by sub-assemblies. So he trained all the workmen. He hired everybody. He had schools, grocery stores, housing for all the defense workers, because a lot of defense workers, most of them were women. And what's left of the men were guys that were too old, couldn't go in the service, and some that decided they wanted to work in a defense plant and feel that their duties up there that they're doing there than going to war. So we had a very, very smattering amount of men. Most of them were women, and a lot of them had children. So he had nurseries for them, everything. It was just like a city. He was very wonderful and very gracious person. He took care of his workers. So he was building these Liberty ships in a week. And we were, believe it or not, folks, we were producing these ships faster than the U-boats could sink them. They couldn't catch up. The U-boats, they just could not catch up with the fleet, because we kept on launching them. We're launching 30 or 40 of these things a day. And these Liberty ships had a lifespan of getting across only. If they can get across from the United States of America to England in one piece, that's liberty, that's victory. The job is done. This job is a success. And a lot of them did that. And then some. A lot of them came back. A lot of them were used throughout the whole war. They were used as troop transports, auxiliaries, such as repair ships, and most of them were used as cargo ships, manned by civilians, which is called the merchant marine. A lot of the merchant seamen on those ships were very, very skittish about being on them because they are being sunk. A lot of the guys in the engineering gang that's down below slept with their life jackets on, their shoes on, clothes on, everything. They weren't going to be caught butt naked when it comes to abandoning ship. So they're pretty prepared for that eventuality. And a lot of the armed guard was United States sailors that were stationed on these civilian merchantmen as gun crews, because the merchant marine, they were not trained to handle 5-inch 38s and 20 millimeters. They were trained as deck seamen, and also the black gang, which operated machinery. They were hired as in that position aboard them type of ships. Okay, guys, without further ado, we're going to come over and swing the hard start. We're going to take a look at the SS Patrick Henry. I'll show you how much I got done on her, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys, this she is right there, entirely right there. From stem to stern, she's 441 feet, and she has a beam of 70 feet, and she can carry almost anything: troops, tanks, airplanes, war contraband, and everything. And we'll get a little closer, fellas. We'll go up to the bow area here. There we go. And you can see all the rigging I done. I got main guides, I got stoppers rigged up, topping lifts all rigged up. I've got rope coils made for the lines and everything. And these hatches right here, fellas, inside these cargo hatches right here, those cargo hatches right there, you used to call them inside the cargo deck, is called in-between decks. Let me explain by in-between decks. A lot of people think when the hatch cover is removed, you have an empty void all the way from the top of the deck to the bottom of the keel. That's not true, folks. On these decks, you got floors all the way down. They call them subflooring. And these subfloorings, they got these I-beams. They plug in like that. You lay a floor on top of that, stack more cargo. Then you go up and again, stick more I-beam, more subflooring. Comes up in between decks. That's how they house the troops and also all the cargo. They call it in between decks. Liberty ship was all steam winches. She had a triple expand engine that was ran by coal, which more or less fired up the boilers, and the boilers powered the triple expansion engine. She couldn't go any faster than 8 knots. 10 knots is about as fast as it goes. If it goes any faster than 10 knots, folks, they usually blow a boiler. And so you got a lot of fire sides and water sides and boilers. When the boiler cools out, you got to shut it down. Once it's cool, a man has to go in there and lay fire brick inside the boiler there, come out, refire up the boiler again, and start again. So it's a constant job with the boiler tender. They'll go and crawl inside these big massive boilers and lay fire brick inside there just to keep these boilers operational. And the Liberty ships carry almost everything. They can carry airplanes, Army ducks, jeeps, even some carry PT boats. The midship house here is movable to fast safe construction. It comes off, all sub-assembly, and hatches are all done. So next I'll be doing this. I'll be working on this king post right here. I'll be making the stops for the mast. Also, I'll be making the top of the king post. You call them life rings, they climb up the ladder up here. They climb up top of here, and they hang on the wing. Of course, when you're rigging, they got a little loop around it. Let's call a hoop, a life ring, which keeps the sailors from falling off once you go aloft. So she's a very detailed ship, as you can see, folks. I mean, I got it pretty well down like the way she's supposed to be. Now just fitting out by putting I'm working on the 20-ton booms. Then I'll proceed forward and get the lifeboats all installed, and I'll do all the rigging on top of the pilot house and the 01, 02 level, and the engine room. I'll have get that all fitted out. Then I'll work aft. Like I say, folks, these are all movable. They'll come off, and so I can be able to work on them sub-assembly wise, then glue them back in. And you got your after deck house. After deck house comes off too. It pulls off, goes on. And we'll take a look at the screw. There's the screw assembly right there. And you notice that rudder right there, fellas, is called a contra guide right there. Top portion goes to starboard. Port section goes to port. We can say, Frank, how come that rudder's got top goes this way, the other one goes this way? That's called a contra guide rudder. It works like that of an airplane, fellas. When an airplane is flying, you got to have trimmed your stabilizer, especially any kind of an airplane. If you got a single powered airplane, a single motor aircraft, they're called trim tabs. These work as trim tabs. When the ship is underway with the torque of the screw turning, it'll cause the ship to turn. You got to use a lot of helm or a lot of trim on your rudder. So to avoid a lot of trim on your rudder, that's called a contra guide rudder right there. That ship will actually steer straight without you turning the ship's wheel. Now this ship, that comes the ship's wheel, if this thing has got caught in combat, there's 3 ways of sealing this ship. The first way of steering this vessel is in the pilot house up in the air. And the pilot house, I'll swing around a little bit, fellas, very gingerly. I want. There we go. From the pilot house right there. You got a helm, a binnacle, rudder indicator, everything in there. If something ever happened there, if the helmsman got shot, got killed or something happened, they can take control up here. If anything happened in the bridge, all the way aft, it's called after steering. There's a door on the port side. It goes all the way down below where the rudder's at. There's a gear. There's a half round gear where that rudder pivots like this. You can take control of that rudder by steering the wheel. But orders of the pilot house with 1MC, they tell you what course you can steer on. So in that case, fellas, that's about 3 ways of steering a ship in case you got involved in combat if something ever happened in the bridge. As you can see forward, all the rigging done on her. It's rigged up like that as a real thing. And it's a very beautiful ship for a day, folks. Although they're known as ugly ducklings, but Liberty ships were very good ships. They're well built. A lot of them in the beginning, during rough seas, they more or less broke right in here. So what they did, they put a splice right through the outside of the hull. A hole right there, which actually reinforces the hull plating, keep it from buckling and breaking in case you get fared in rough ocean. So that'll be that, folks, and we'll swing the camera to yours truly, and we'll take the Liberty ship here and swing around up here, keep her from getting broken, boys. I think it weighs about 10 pounds. 10 pounds of solid wood. I hate to get hit to have that damn thing. Okay, take yours truly, folks. Okay, guys, while I'm farting around with this a little bit, I'll probably be letting it during drying sessions. I'll resume back on the Grumman Go Puck and get her all painted up and decaled and rigged up. It should be done. And I'll probably hop out of California and get her done. The USS Drum, my submarine, Gato, I'll probably get her around April or so. I'll start to get her all finished up. And I'll get something else going. So I got a lot of finished up projects going on, fellas, that's calling on me that need to be done. And I ordered some turnbuckles and some blocks for my Billings Danish training ship Denmark. And so they'll be coming in the mail, and so that'll be a finish upper kit too. Okay, guys, that's about all for the Liberty ship right here, and we'll take the next video will just be a construction update on it, so I should have another video of this probably by Sunday. By this Sunday, I should be working aft. I should have the midships superstructure house all done and rigged up, and also I'll have that king post on the gun. I'm starting that king post right now, and it won't take long to rig that up. And I believe it comes apart too. Yep, it comes off, folks. Yeah, it does. I have good sense to glue that down, so that's why I take a whole unit, I can work on it right here, put it on the model, glue it. That's the idea of sub-assembly wise. Still, you never work on the model, you work off the model. You take a sub-assembly piece, now the same thing with an airplane. Take that piece, when it's all done, that sub-assembly is complete, the glue it there where it's supposed to go at, you go to the next sub-assembly. Never glue the model because that's a bad habit to get into. If you get, especially these ships, if you start gluing things down, start working on the model, you won't have no room to work, and these big clubby hands will get in the way of pursuing something will bust. Then you'll regret that. Okay, guys, that concludes the second video for this evening, for Friday. And so I'm going to hop on this Liberty ship right here. And so this Sunday, guys, keep your peepers open. We'll have a video on my Liberty ship this Sunday. I have a beautiful day working on her. I'll start working on her tonight, so I'm going to do a little cleanup on her right now. There's just a little bit of dust on her. Not very much. I put her in a box, keep it boxed up. I keep that dust off.